Today, we're looking at what's available right now as of October 2025 for first home buyers in Western Australia, including stamp duty concessions through the first homeowner rate, a $10,000 first homeowner grant for new homes, the federal first home guarantee scheme and how it applies in WA, and the Keystart and shared home ownership, two state-backed pathways designed to make buying more accessible. We'll unpack each one, explain who qualifies, and talk about how to think strategically about which option suits your goals, not just your starting deposit. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to First Home Unlocked, the podcast for unlocking clarity and confidence for first home buyers. I'm Jack Elliott, National First Home Buyer Specialist at Alcove.
And I'm Chris Bates, ex-financial planner and mortgage broker.
Together, we are on a mission to empower you with the keys to unlock your first home. Let's jump in. Hello, and welcome back to First Home Unlocked. Today, we're continuing our deep dive into the grants and schemes available for first home buyers right across Australia. Today, we're looking at what's available right now as of October 2025 for first home buyers in Western Australia, including stamp duty concessions through the first homeowner rate, a $10,000 first homeowner grant for new homes, the federal first home guarantee scheme and how it applies in WA, and the Keystart and shared home ownership, two state-backed pathways designed to make buying more accessible. We'll unpack each one, explain who qualifies, and talk about how to think strategically about which option suits your goals, not just your starting deposit. Let's get into it. So firstly, just a quick recap on what stamp duty is. So this is a one-off government tax you pay when you're purchasing a property. It's calculated as a percentage of the property's value and can easily add tens of thousands to your upfront costs. To help reduce that, Western Australia offers the first homeowner rate of duty, a concessional rate, and in some cases a full exemption for eligible first home buyers purchasing a home or vacant land to build their principal place of residence. The exact savings depends on the property's value and the location, with different thresholds across metro and regional WA. So if you're buying a home in all areas up to the value of $500,000, you'll pay no stamp duty. If you're in the metropolitan or Peel regions, you'll get a concessional or discounted rate of stamp duty for purchases between $500,000 and $700,000. If you're buying a home outside of these regions, you'll get a discounted rate of stamp duty between $500,000 and $750,000. And if you're buying vacant land to build your first home on, you won't pay any stamp duty up to $350,000, and a reduced rate applies up to $450,000. Now, this applies to all regions with that vacant land. So this first homeowner rate of duty applies to new or established homes or vacant land intended to build your first home. So let's break down a few examples to see how the first homeowner rate of duty actually works in Western Australia. If you're buying in metropolitan or the Peel region, at $500,000, you'll pay no stamp duty at all as a first home buyer. That's a saving of around $18,000 compared to a non-first home buyer. At $600,000, you pay roughly $14,000 in stamp duty compared to around $23,000 for a non-first home buyer. Once you purchase for $700,000 in the metropolitan or Peel region, the concession cuts out and you'll pay the full stamp duty rate, which comes in at about $27,000. So to be eligible for the first homeowner rate of duty, you'll need to meet the following. You must be 18 years old. At least one applicant must be an Australian citizen or permanent resident. You must be buying or building your very first home in Australia. So you or your partner must be first home buyers. You can't have owned or lived in a property anywhere in Australia before, and you'll need to live in your home as your principal place of residence for at least 6 continuous months within the first 12 months after completion or settlement. So this stamp duty concession is a great support for first home buyers in WA, especially with the higher thresholds in the regional areas. It's a great opportunity to save thousands up front, but it's still important to look at the bigger picture. Because while a concessional rate of stamp duty sounds appealing, the goal isn't just to buy the cheapest home, it's to buy the right one. So before locking something in purely to stay under the threshold, take a step back and ask yourself these questions. Does this location actually fit the lifestyle I want long term? Am I compromising on quality or future growth just to save a bit on stamp duty? And would paying stamp duty open up better suburbs, stronger value and more flexibility later on? Because when a property grows in value, it creates equity you can use in the future to upgrade, invest, or simply have more financial breathing room. As we talked about in episode 6, Unlocking Asset Quality, a well-located, high-quality home will outperform a cheaper option over time. So it's about finding the balance between smart savings and the right strategy for your long-term goals and vision. Next incentive available is the First Homeowner Grant, which is a one-off payment of up to $10,000 for eligible first home buyers who are buying or building a new home to live in as their principal place of residence. You'll need to meet the same eligibility requirements we've talked about earlier for the first homeowner rate of duty, but you'll need to apply for the grant separately. A key difference is that the grant doesn't apply to vacant land purchases. It's only for the home itself. So it can be used for the purchase of a brand new home, building a new home under a comprehensive building contract, or building as an owner builder. There also are some limits on the total value of the home depending on which side of the 26 parallel you purchase. Now, the 26 parallel is the line of latitude that runs across the middle of Australia. So the caps are up to $750,000 if it's south of the 26 parallel of south latitude, which includes Perth and metropolitan areas, and up to $1 million if it's north of the 26 parallel of south latitude. The grant can be a good help towards your deposit or upfront costs. But remember, it's only available for new homes, and sometimes new doesn't always mean better. Before chasing the $10,000 grant, pause and ask, is this new build the best fit for your long-term goals and your lifestyle? Does this location have real demand, or are you buying into an area with lots of supply? Will the property hold value and appeal to future buyers? Sometimes building new does make sense, but other times an established home in a proven suburb might deliver stronger long-term results, even if it means paying some stamp duty and missing out on the grant. As we talk about often on First Home Unlocked, the best outcomes come from buying smart, not just buying cheap. Now, another incentive available to WA buyers is the First Home Guarantee, a federal government program available across all states and territories. It allows eligible first home buyers to buy with as little as a 5% deposit, avoid paying lenders' mortgage insurance, and access competitive interest rates through a range of participating lenders. And importantly, you still own 100% of your home. The government doesn't take a share, they simply act as a guarantor to the bank, allowing your loan to be treated as if you had a 20% deposit. So that means you avoid paying lenders' mortgage insurance, which can save you anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 or more, and you can get into the market sooner with a smaller deposit. Now, to qualify for the First Home Guarantee in WA, your purchase must fall within the current Housing Australia price caps, which apply to both new and established homes. So these caps were updated on the 1st of October 2025, and the new limits are up to $850,000 in Perth, which is up from $600,000, and up to $600,000 in the rest of WA, which is up from $450,000. And with the removal of the income caps from October 2025, more Western Australians can now access the scheme, opening the door for buyers who were previously just outside the eligibility range. So if you've been saving for a while or just getting started, this is the perfect time to step back and review your plan. These updates could help you open up access to better quality homes and allow you to get into the market sooner. To learn more about how the scheme works, including the eligibility, pros and cons, and how to remove the guarantee later on, listen to episode 10 of the podcast, Unlocking First Home Guarantee. Or if you'd like help mapping out whether it fits your plan, book in a get-to-know-you chat at firsthomeunlocked.com.au/book, and we'll help you build a strategy that fits your goals. Now, the final initiative we'll cover for WA is the Shared Home Ownership Program, part of the Opening Doors initiative, a partnership between the WA government and Keystart, which is the WA's government lending provider. It's designed to help more Western Australians get into their homes sooner, especially those who may not yet qualify for a traditional bank loan. So under this program, the WA Department of Communities acts as a silent partner by co-owning part of the property with you. They can fund up to 30% of the purchase price, which means you only need a smaller Keystart loan for your share. Your deposits and repayments are lower because it's based on your percentage share, and you still live in the home as your principal place of residence. The percentage you own is decided by Keystart based on your financial situation, so you don't get to choose the percentage you own. So if you have a flexible shared home ownership loan, you can increase your ownership and buy back whenever you can afford to, meaning you can work towards owning 100% of your home in the future by buying back the government's share with repayments that are a minimum 5% of the property's current value. If it's a fixed shared home ownership loan, the housing authority will always retain its portion of the property. If you decide to sell your home, the housing authority will buy your share back at its current value. Now, it's available for a range of new homes sold through the Opening Doors website, including houses, units, and apartments across Perth and selected regional areas. The key thing here using this program is you can only choose from the listed properties on the Opening Doors website, so your options are very limited to start with. But the availability of homes for purchase is currently limited even more as the WA government is focusing on other programs to support the WA community. Now, to qualify, you need to be 18 and over and an Australian citizen or permanent resident who lives in WA. You can't earn over $123,000 per year as a single or $189,000 combined as a couple or family. You must plan to live in the home yourself, not as an investment property. Have at least a 2% deposit and not currently own another home or block of land. So unlike the first home guarantee where the government acts as a guarantor, this program involves shared ownership. The government actually holds a percentage of your property. You don't pay rent or interest on their share, but they will retain their portion if you sell or refinance. Now, because the government retains part ownership, your flexibility is more limited. You are limited to the one lender option, which means you can't refinance to get a better rate elsewhere. You have access to limited property options, as we've discussed. And if you decide to sell, the WA government will recover its percentage share plus its proportion of any capital growth. Shared equity schemes can make home ownership more accessible in the short term, but they also mean shared control and shared growth in the long term. Start considering, will giving up a portion of your future growth be worth the short-term affordability boost? Are there alternative paths, such as the first home guarantee, that could get you into a home sooner without sacrificing the home ownership? Does the property itself meet your asset quality criteria? Think about location, scarcity, and appeal to future buyers. We genuinely see shared equity options as a last resort pathway, best suited to buyers who genuinely can't enter the market any other way and are comfortable with the trade-offs. As we explore in episode 11 of the podcast, shared equity schemes can sound attractive, but they're not always in your long-term best interests. Always focus on buying a quality asset, ensuring the purchase aligns with your life plan and exit strategy, and maintain as much ownership and flexibility as possible for your future. And that's why it's so important to speak to a broker early. We'll help you compare all your options, understand the trade-offs, and build a financial plan that truly supports your long-term goals. So that's a snapshot of what's available right now for first home buyers in Western Australia. We have the stamp duty concession through the first homeowner rate, a $10,000 first homeowner grant for eligible new homes, the first home guarantee, where you buy with a 5% deposit and pay no lender's mortgage insurance, and the Keystart and shared home ownership option. But as always, it's not just about what you can access, it's about what's right for you. Your goals, your lifestyle, and your long-term vision should shape your strategy. Government incentives help you enter the market sooner, but they're most powerful when used as part of a well-structured plan, not the plan itself. You'll find links to all the official government resources and eligibility guides in the show notes. And if you are ready to map out a clear, calm, and confident strategy for your first home, you can book a get to know you chat at firsthomeunlocked.com.au/book or use the link in the show notes. So don't forget to follow the podcast for more exciting episodes, as we've now wrapped up our state-by-state deep dives, and we're now moving into new topics to support first home buyers across Australia. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. We'd really appreciate if you could do us a huge favour. Share this episode with any first home buyers that you know so we can help more people like you feel clear, calm and confident when purchasing their first property. You can join our Facebook group, First Home Unlocked, to continue the conversation with other first home buyers. Or if you're ready to unlock your first home, you can book a get to know you chat by using the link in the show notes or by going to firsthomeunlocked.com.au. Before we go, just a reminder that everything we share on this podcast is general in nature and not tailored to your personal situation. We always recommend seeking advice from a qualified and experienced professional when making financial decisions.